Hi, welcome to my channel, Selena Style Designs. I'm Selena, an interior designer and stylist based in Sydney. In July last year, I started furniture flipping part-time and realised I could make about $300 to $500 extra a week. The financial freedom and creative joy this brought me led me to take the leap and quit my 9-to-5 job in January this year. This has given me the chance to explore new creative projects, of which this channel is all about. I'm here to share with you my passion and experience in interior design and styling, the joys of furniture refinishing, and helpful tips to make you earn more money in your furniture flips. So if you're interested in starting furniture flipping, but you don't know what's involved and how to go about it, then stick around, because today's video, I'll be showing you exactly just that. I'll be going through what and how to source, what style to think about for your furniture flip, the prep and refinishing techniques that help transform your piece into something amazing, and how best to showcase your work to sell quickly and for more. So let's get into it. When I first started furniture flipping, I began with timber bedsides and entry console tables. I chose these styles of furniture because they could fit in my car, they didn't take up too much space to work on, and they were always sought after. But also, most importantly, they are very easy for our customers to collect themselves. So 3 things to consider when sourcing furniture is: 1, how desirable and sought after is the furniture style? 2, what is it made of? And 3, can customers collect easily? So the most logical step is, where do we find the pieces to flip? For me, it's always now Facebook Marketplace. Though I do occasionally check out thrift stores, I do find they're more expensive sometimes. And if you're wanting greater profit margins, cheaper is always best. Although free is of course the ideal. So if you can find free small furniture, then you're winning. In my case, I was lucky enough to start with a flip that actually was a roadside find, and that piece ended up going for $600. Sometimes you can just never know what the potential of a piece can be and also what you can get for it. So experimenting and just learning as you go is pretty much the way that I learned about this flipping process. So over the months of doing the furniture flipping, I found that the price that I'm willing to pay for bedsides and consoles kind of vary between $40 to $60 depending on the quality and also just the size as well. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you the process of finding furniture on Facebook Marketplace. So let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is open our Facebook and then go into our little home icon, and that's going to bring us into Facebook Marketplace. What I normally do most days is just browse without really thinking particularly on what I'm looking for. I just like to see what's going, what are the price ranges of things. Some of the things that I do look for are bedsides, dressers and consoles. They're pretty much the core of what I sell and work on, just because of the size limitations that I have on my car and also in my apartment where I do my studio work. So this one has really great potential. So what I'm going to do is just going to message the seller and check that this is still available. And what I do is I always make sure that I message the seller if I can guarantee collection of that day. I don't like to waste anyone's time because I know what that process is like myself. So I like to make sure that I can actually pick up the item of the day that I contact the person, and there's no wasting time for both parties involved. And for me, this is quite close to get to Bondi Junction. It's only about 20-minute drive from Pyrmont, so that's nice and close. So that's always another factor when sourcing furniture. What is the access? Is it out of my way? Is it worth going to if it's out of my way? You can also offer a lower price if you feel that the asking is too much, but I'm quite happy with their asking of $60. So I'm going to contact the seller and fingers crossed it's available, and I might be able to go collect that today. So great news, I just heard back from the seller and she's confirmed that the piece is available and I can go collect. So now we're going to head off to Bondi. It's really cute, but it's a little bit smaller than I had anticipated. I don't know if maybe $6 was worth it, but anyway, that's not too bad actually for price. So timber's really good, of course, everything works. So I think we'll take this up and I probably will sit with it for a few days, and then I'll probably figure out what color and style I'm going to make this over to. Now we move on to process 2, assessing the style. This piece has great bones and really could be flipped in so many different styles. The two that I'm considering are between the country look, so something a bit more soft green, a little bit farmhouse in terms of the wood tones, a bit warmer, and it has a bit more of a traditional classic feel. And the other is a bit more boho, so it's kind of a bit more of a softer neutral colour with the exposed timber top that's also a little bit warmer and a bit more of a luxe modern hardware. So keep watching to see which one I go for. I'm so thrilled with how this flip turned out. I ended up going for kind of mix of a country luxe look, and all of that was pretty much down to the hardware and the color choices. I chose a lovely soft green coloring, and paired with the brass and glass hardware, this made such a big difference in the overall look and really made it something a bit more special and unique. This is something I've learned over time, that when you're doing furniture flips, you start developing your own signature style, which I think I've kind of developed now, and also you realize that people are wanting something a little bit different and special. So one way that you can do that is by changing out and adding in new modern hardware, and this has a big impact, I think, in actually elevating and getting you a higher profit margin. So you do spend a little bit more on these new hardware pieces, but you can then ask actually for a little bit more because it is a bit more modern and updated. So the overall costings for this piece ended up being about $75. I'd say $60 for the console itself, and then $15 in materials, which is the sanding and the paint. I'm excluding the hardware in this case here because it's something I already had. So all up, it was $75 for my costings, and I ended up selling it for $240. So this console gave me a profit of $165. And as this piece only took me about 3 hours to do all up, which is insanely fast really, this is definitely a project and a side hustle that you can do on one weekend. So it's a great way of earning a bit of extra cash. Now we come to the last stage in the furniture flipping process, and that is showcasing your work. Now this is, I think for me, one of the most vital and important processes that really become the difference between just standardly selling furniture online or actually making quite a bit in furniture flipping. And I think my background in interior styling and product photography and showroom staging has actually really helped me understand what the buyer is looking for and how to showcase your work that really makes you, one, stand out, and two, actually get more profits for your piece. The process of showcasing your work can be broken down into 4 parts. There is the photography and the staging, and the description and the listing. So with the listing, I always make sure that I include a very clear, descriptive summary of what the piece is, what I've painted it with, what I've protected it also with as well, and most importantly, the measurements and where you can actually collect or view the item. I do suggest if you can offer viewing, that is a great way of enticing potential customers if they're not sure about the item itself to see it in person. And sometimes you actually might get more work, maybe some custom work, if they see other pieces that you've done as well. So viewing is a great way of just enticing that extra step for that customer to confirm and agree to your purchase as well. But let me take you to the listing I did for this piece.
You can see that I've now got my listing up. I've got my hero image with a full portrait of the overall piece, and I've got the title, the measurements are the first thing that's up there, and then I've got a description of what the item is, how it's been painted, and what's included and what's not included. And then from there we've got my other supporting images that really highlights all the painted finishes and the details on this item. So you really want to think about the way your pictures are laid out, what pictures you're using to really show the quality and the craftsmanship of your item and your piece, and the description that matches those images as well.
If you want to have a great chance of selling quickly and profitably, you want to make sure that you have a hero image that is going to be the focal image that really entices your viewer into then clicking through the rest of your carousel images. I like to supply at least about 6 images, and I will make sure that I do sort of a front-on photo of the piece itself with a bit of negative space around the console or furniture item. That way it gives an idea of the scale and the size and proportion of the piece as well. I also then do like an aerial shot down, so it's kind of looking above at the timber as well, so you can see the quality of it. I'll also do close-ups and side angles, and that way the customer has a great understanding of the different sides and just the condition of the furniture, because that's crucial. Like if they can't see enough photos, it's not going to give them an understanding of what the piece is, if there's any damages, what the quality of your work is, which is also another important factor when you're furniture flipping. People are looking at the quality. So you want to make sure that your photography and styling is enhancing your furniture item, so that way you get the ideal client. Then we come to styling. So this can be a very personal preference. I like to keep my pieces quite simple and minimal because I want to showcase this as if it's in somebody's home, and I'm giving them the imagination for them to picture it in their own space as well. So I tend to keep things to one side of a frame of my vignettes, and that way I've got a bit of negative spacing, which is quite important to play with. Sometimes I see a lot of furniture items on sale that kind of feel a bit cluttered and heavy. So if you can kind of think, what is this piece, where would it be located, and how would a person use it? Try to style it as simply in that way, because that's going to help give the potential buyer a better understanding of how this would be used as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, A Beginner's Guide to Furniture Flipping, and I gave you some insights into what's involved into furniture flipping and also the processes and what to consider if you're just getting started as well. I love every step in the furniture flipping process, from the sourcing to the refinishing to the styling and the staging and the photography and of course the selling. It really has become quite a healthy addiction of mine. So if you're interested in learning more about furniture flipping, refinishing, or would like to develop your eye for design and style, then give my channel a subscribe because I've got some amazing videos coming up that's going to be all about these topics. So thanks for watching and see you next time.